Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Today I want to focus on the trouble with being a split definition. Now there are several different types of split definition. Those people that have two sets of definitions in their chart, but they're connected by a single gate. And then there's that definition where there is a full channel that is separating the two definitions. And then there is a channel and a half or two channels that separate the definitions. So there's different details involved. And for this particular YouTube video, I just want to look at the split definitions that have just a single gate separating their definitions. And to some degree, you can also look at quadruple splits, because when you're looking at the types of difference in definitions, there is the single definition, the split definition, the triple split definition, and the quadruple split. And the split definitions and the quadruple splits are really what I'm going to be looking at today. And specifically where there is a single gate connecting one set of definitions with another. Why? Because that's where a lot of the problem comes in. When you think about yourself, you will blame yourself if you can't do whatever you think you can do. And I want to go right in there with that one. So let's have a look. If we think about someone who has, let's say, the sacral connected to the G center, and they've got the seventh gate in the G. So there's energy moving upwards, and it wants to go into being the role of leader, playing the role of leader. And then it's got, let's say the definition has a 4323 channel coming down into the throat, but no 31. So you've got a talking head, you've got the conceptual mind thinking and wanting to speak it, and you've got the energy there that's going up and fixing the role of leader, those that can lead in a logical direction. And let's add something else to the mix. Let's put in a emotional channel, let's say the 3635, that's actually going into the throat as well. So you've got a throat system and a mind that is really thinking in their own particular way. They've got the push and the rise of the emotional energy, which can be peaceful or angry, and it moves in a crescendo. And then you've got the identity all powered up with the role of leader, but no 31. There is the gap. There is the bridge. There is the trouble. Because without the 31, there is no voice of influence. Without the 31, there is no diplomacy. There is no languaging in a way that the people can understand, that they should listen to this person. So what do we get? We get people wanting to bridge it, wanting to jump it. And this is what happens with this single gate. There's wanting to, like, I want to be that. I came to this particular topic speaking to a client who's become a friend in Canada, a guy called Louis, and he was talking about split definitions. And he came up with the phrase, the split definitions are looking for something that isn't there, always looking for something that isn't there. So in this case, the mind will play in the white areas of the chart, and where there is a single gate that joins the two sets of definitions, this is where the trouble is. This is where the emphasis should be put in the way that you think about yourself. Without any diplomacy, without the right languaging, what you're going to get is someone in the not self who's going to want to shout, who's going to say, look, I'm right, I know, this is the way to progress, listen to me, you bastards, and it's not going to work. There's no diplomacy. There's no way of putting it in a reasonable way. It'll be put in an emotional and an individual interpretation, which isn't always easily acceptable by others. And this person being a manifesting generator and emotional at that, there is going to be the anger and frustration at people not listening to them. Let's take another example. Let's take an example of let's say we have, to make it simple, let's say we have someone with an adrenalized emotional system in the 1949 and the 37th gate. And that's one set of definitions. And then we've got the fixed will with the 2644, which is also there. So the spleen and the will are there. And the gap then is going to be the 40th gate. So here's someone who is very sensitive to what's going on with the other people. Have they got their needs met or not? They can probably be insensitive to their own needs, because in the channel of synthesis in the 1949, this is what often happens when you're living out the not self life. You don't take care of yourself in that tribal way. And then we've got the will that wants to promote and wants to get out something they really believe in. The 37 is there, the gate of affection, the gate of family, the gate of, really love and responsibility together, if I put it that way. To hold a family together, you have to deal with the things that go wrong and family members that create upheaval. And, you've got to have some kind of responsibility. Everyone has to share responsibility for keeping the family together. And the 37 is looking at that 40. And the 37 says, I don't need to have a 40th gate. I can deliver. I can deliver. I'll deliver. So we get people that are pretending to be what the space is in between and making that leap they shouldn't make. And the will needs its rest and it needs its respect. And if it's delivering all the time, trying to deliver, it's going to get to a point where it just gets exhausted. And then the split definition is living through that exhaustion while all the time trying to be something that they're not. So these single gates, and they think it's their fault. Why can't I do it? I should be able to do it. I want to do it. They need me. And it's my fault that I can't deliver all the time. It's not your fault. It's a matter of simple mechanics. You don't have the 40th gate. You're not here to deliver all the time. It's not your job, no matter what the mind is saying to you. Remember, the mind is something that we cannot rely on, that we cannot trust, that we should not be listening to in our movement through life. And one more thing I want to draw your attention to. We are what we are. Our definition is our definition. And yet we don't really think about who we are in normal life. You do if you're in human design, but other than that, you take it for granted what you've got in you. It's just the way you are. And you assume everyone else is the same way, which of course they're not, which we know in human design. But it also means that which you are, if you're looking to what you're not, you think about it in terms of, I must do this. If I do this, I will be able to live the right life. But if the attribute isn't there, all you're doing is diving deeper into trouble. All you're doing is diving deeper into resistance. You've either got it or you haven't got it. And with the split definition, with just a gate separating the definitions, it's going to be an emphasis on that. Now, that's a simple way of looking at it. But in reality, of course, many split definitions with single gates separating them may have several different gates that would join the splits. Imagining that. So let's move into a little bit more complication, because this is also important. We can talk about the single gates separating the two definitions as I've just done. But think about what happens if you've got more than one gate that is there ready to be joined up. So if you've got the 5027, so you're a generator, you've got the 28th gate also hanging, you've got the 4030, the channel of recognition, so you've got a fixed root, and from that fixed root there is the 53. So what's going to happen? You're going to want to support people. You're going to have this incredible energy for, moving into something new and sharing it with others. You've got the energy in the 53rd gate to start things, but you don't have the energy to finish the projects that you start. You don't have that power. And not only that, you've got this sense of purpose in the 28, where you've got to be alignment to purpose, but you don't have the 38, which is the energy to fight for your individual purpose. So there you are trying to fight for your individual purpose without the power. And there you are trying to finish the projects that you got started without the energy to finish them. And then you can add a third or a fourth gate as well in different places. And you can see how it gets very complicated, that the mind is going to play in all the openness. And it's not going to work if you try to live it out. So to really look at your chart, on this channel, I want to help you to, I can't give an analysis to everybody. I wish I could, I just don't have the time. But I want you to look for yourselves. I want you to experiment for yourselves. So look at those bridges. Look at what the bridges are, because the bridges are the biggest problem when they're lived out. Take a good look. Reflect upon yourself, and you'll see the whole thing unraveling in the way that your life is being led, because those bridges are the real obstacles to you living your true design. They get in the way. Be aware of them when they do. Your awareness will begin to get clearer about, oh, wait a minute, I'm not here to finish that. I better delegate that one. It's like you begin to see what you're not, and in not trying to live it out, you can stay within your own definition and bring in those people that are necessary where needed, not trying to be all the bridges. So that's what I wanted to say to you, just to think about it. If you want to know more about what's the difference between a single gate split and a full channel split, or more than a channel split, then I do have that on my website under definitions, under the split definition, and you can find out all about that. But for now, think about it. Okay, I hope you found that useful, and if you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back again very soon with something completely different. Bye for now.